Hi lovely people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This might be the first video in a new series which I will call Story Behind a Song, where I want to discuss impactful songs that were either socially meaningful or relevant, has a controversial history, or one that defined an era or time period. So today, for those people who are not living under a rock during 2010 to 2011, you are able to witness Rihanna's transition from a star into a global superstar. That year, Rihanna released her fifth studio album, Loud, on November 12, 2010, which was an upbeat reggae Eurodance pop record that was a huge contrast from the sound and elements featured on her previous album, Rated R. Debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200 with 207,000 copies sold in the first week, which at the time was her highest first-week sales in her career, the album became the 8th best-selling album globally and has sold over 8 million copies worldwide. With Loud, Rihanna earned 3 #1 songs with Only Girl in the World, What's My Name, and S&M, which placed Rihanna in historic territory as she became the youngest recording artist to accumulate 10 #1 songs in the United States. Throughout the entire Loud era, Rihanna released 7 singles, but aside from the chart-topping aforementioned songs, I think the most impactful and meaningful song from this album would be her 5th single, Man Down, which was officially released as a single on May 3, 2011. The reggae-infused production featured Rihanna heavily vocalizing and embracing her Bayesian accent as she describes feeling remorseful for taking the life of a man who violently assaulted her after a party. Throughout the song, she describes her innermost thoughts of guilt, anger, and sadness of the crime she committed and her plans to escape town as a fugitive. Rihanna was eager to record this song as she said she was inspired and grew up to reggae culture and that she was excited to take this song on as her own by expressing a gangster persona. During a Rihanna writing camp in 2010, producer Shama Joseph connected with the songwriting and production duo Rock City, which comprises the brothers Theron and Timothy Thomas, by presenting them with the West Indian Caribbean-themed production he had crafted. Upon hearing the music, the brothers suggested writing a female version of Bob Marley's 1973 song, I Shot the Sheriff. I Shot the Sheriff was about the political landscape of Jamaica at the time, in which there was friction and conflict between the police and citizens. The growing discord resulted in the response from Bob as the protagonist, in which he sang about feeling persecuted and unsafe by the police force. Given that he felt targeted, he symbolically shot a specific sheriff in self-defense. This song directly addressed the political and social landscape at that time and was used as a strategy to mend relations and bring peace to the country. The meaning of the song may have dual meanings, as Bob's former girlfriend, Esther Anderson, said in 2012 the song is about the relationship and the use of birth control. But upon the release of Rihanna's Man Down, some critics believe the song condoned violence and that it was a confessional and a response to Chris Brown as a result of his assault against her in 2009. While others praise Rihanna's experimentation and vocal agility by allowing her accent to control the song by creating a cinematic journey that highlights a prevalent social issue that many women can relate to or understand. On May 31, 2011, Rihanna premiered the music video on 106 & Park on BET, which was directed by Anthony Mandler and shot in the Jamaican coast. The video depicts the past 24 hours as it opens up with Rihanna fatally shooting a man in broad daylight as he then lays in a pool of blood. It cuts to the hours leading up to the crime where Rihanna is casually strolling through her neighborhood, carefree, smiling, flirting, and interacting with various people in her community. Rihanna exhibits a sense of happiness, normalcy, and more importantly, security in her place of refuge. As the night progresses, she decides to attend a typical dance hall party, dancing her usual routine and enjoying a night out. She is later approached by a man in a dark alley who aggressively grabs and assaults her as she tries to fight off his advances. Soon after, Rihanna quickly runs home to retrieve her weapon from her dresser as she has instantly made plans to avenge her assailant for ripping the innocence and safety she once felt in her neighborhood. Upon the release of the video, Rihanna and the media conglomerate Viacom and its network BET received immediate backlash from organizers who said the video encourages the acceptability of premeditated as retaliation and that it is a violation of BET's programming guidelines. The organizations, the Parents Television Council, the Enough is Enough campaign, as well as the think tank Industry Ears, joined forces to condemn the video by suggesting pulling the video from programs that target children and teenagers by also saying that the video is an inexcusable, shock-only shoot and kill song, and it is depicting a cold, calculated execution of murder. In a statement, Paul Porter, co-founder of Industry Ears and a former music programmer for BET, said, "In my 30 years of viewing BET, I have never witnessed such a cold, calculated execution of murder prime time." Viacom Standards and Practices Department has reached another new low. If Chris Brown shot a woman in his new video and BET premiered it, the world will stop. Rihanna should not get a pass and BET should know better. In response to the backlash, the video director Anthony Mandler said, "It's doing exactly what Rihanna and I hoped it would do, which is to shine a light on a very dark subject matter. This medium used to be a great medium of messages. I grew up in the era of Madonna releasing videos and sparking controversy. I think most people are wasting this medium." He went on to say that the fact that there's an argument to ban this because this will make girls retaliate from abuse with skipping over the point. We obviously have a huge issue with abuse to deal with as a country. Additionally, one of the writers on the song, Timothy Thomas, spoke on the controversial music video for their song by reminding critics that most Caribbean music is about narrating stories and telling tales. Timothy said, "It's like somebody wrote a script for a movie and she delivered it perfectly. I just think sometimes people need something to talk about, and this is a thing to talk about. Because when you listen to the song word for word, if she shot it theatrically how the lyrics are, it probably would have been a little more graphic if you ask me." When Melissa Henson, the Director of Communications and Public Education for the Parents Television Council, was asked at the time why her organization only chose to focus on the execution scene, as opposed to Rihanna shedding light on what led up to the crime, which was a brutal assault, Henson said the video would have been much more acceptable if Rihanna edited out the shooting. Henson went on to say, "Rihanna needs to recognize that she has a substantial fan base. She's probably one of the most visible victims of domestic abuse. She could be serving a very responsible position. She's not sending the right message." In further response to the backlash, BET stood by Rihanna in a statement that said, "BET Networks has a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines that are applied to all of our content. The Rihanna Man Down video complied with these guidelines and was approved for air. At the same time, it is clear that the Man Down video has sparked a passionate dialogue, and we will continue this conversation with our audience tonight on 106 & Park." Earlier in the day on June 2nd, 2011, Rihanna took to her Twitter to voice her frustrations with the backlash, in which she said, "I'm a 23-year-old rock star with no kids. What's up with everybody wanting me to be a parent? I'm just a girl. I can only be your and our voice, because we all know how difficult and embarrassing it is to communicate touchy subject matters to anyone, especially our parents. The music industry isn't exactly Parents Are Us. We have the freedom to make art. Let us. It's your job to make sure they don't turn out like us." Later that day, she phoned into 106 & Park to further explain her artistic vision for the video and the message she wanted to convey by saying, "We just wanted to hone in on a very serious subject matter that people are afraid to address, especially if you've been victimized in this scenario. I've been abused in the past, and you don't see me running around people in my spare time. I just really want girls to be careful. Have fun, be sassy, be innocent, be sweet, be everything that you are, but just try not to be naive. That's not coming from a parent, but from a peer." Man Down is a song about a girl who committed a murder that she regrets and is completely remorseful about. In making that into a mini movie or a video, we needed to go back to why it happened, because obviously she's not a cold-blooded and we decided to hone in on a very serious matter that people are afraid to address. Girls are empowered by this. It's easy to turn into something negative. I'm just really impressed that my fans get it. That was really important to me. This is a story for them. It's not for the critics, it's for my fans. Happening all over the world, and we continue to cover it up and pretend it doesn't happen. Girls and boys feel compelled to hide it from everyone. They need a voice sometimes, and if I could do that, then I've done my job. The video even caught the attention of actress Gabrielle Union, who has been outspoken about when she was a victim of SA when she was 19. In a tweet, Gabrielle said, "Saw Man Down by Rihanna. Every victim survivor of SA is unique, including how they think they'd like justice to be handed out. During my essay, I tried to shoot my perpetrator, but I missed. Over the years, I realized that my perpetrator would have added insult to injury. The desire to execute someone who abused you is understandable, but unless it's self-defense in the moment to save your life, just add to your troubles." Rihanna did a great job of getting the entire world talking about SA. I hope that it leads to healing and prevents SA. Though the song did not reach the chart success of the other hit singles on Loud, as Man Down peaked at number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100, I think the song was by far her most significant. Given the contents of the song and the video, I feel like people expected her to tell her story or to become a spokesperson for domestic abuse through an autobiographical song. While various organizers condemned Rihanna for her graphic visual imagery, I believe Rihanna used her platform at age 23, I might add, quite responsibly. She used her influence to speak out on a very specific social issue that bridges the gap women from all walks of life can relate to in different ways, with SA as a story arc. To this day, I truly disagree with all of the detractors who advocated to pull the video down from music platforms due to the execution scene, because doing so would have greatly minimized the clear message Rihanna was trying to send. It is a story of how SA disempowers and strips the innocence and solace of a woman's body to the point where she feels she is left with no choice but to execute her perpetrator. But even with the execution, that does not take away the fact that the victim is still remorseful for fighting fire with fire and snatching the life of somebody's son. Rihanna was not joyfully celebrating her retaliation. She was weeping and full of sorrow and anguish that the brutal actions of her assailant caused her to react so viciously, which at the end of the day brought on more problems than solutions. Throughout the entire song, I think Rihanna honored her reggae influences perfectly as she expressed powerful and palpable emotions that I personally haven't heard from her up until that point. She channeled the themes and overarching mission of the song by conveying the quote-unquote female perspective by delivering a compelling and complex anthem of the societal struggles some women have experienced. Let me know in the comments what your initial thoughts of the Man Down song and video were when you first heard and saw it. Do you think the video has or had a negative influence on young people and how they perceive violence? Or do you think Rihanna was trying to be a voice to the voiceless? Also, let me know what are your favorite songs from Rihanna's Loud album. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you next time.